Tim Mcmillan, and I am a partner at Garrison Strategy. We're a full-service firm specializing in resource development, mainly oil and gas, but we do some mining and agriculture work as well. We help companies with major projects that they're trying to move forward. We help them with policy, regulatory risks that they see coming at them, and assessing risks that they may not see but could be very material to their businesses. Our industries are what's driving Canada, and we believe strongly that Canada's resource sector needs to be strong if we want to keep Canada's economy strong. Challenges facing our energy sector and the resource sector in general are substantial in Canada. We have incredible opportunity, we have incredible resources, we have talented workforce, but we struggle to get projects done. We're struggling to get investment into Canada at a time where global demand continues to increase. I think a lot of this is self-inflicted, and we need to own that, and we need to move on. But we've seen the cancellation of major pipelines like Energy East and Northern Gateway. We've seen cancellations of LNG facilities repeatedly. We have seen protesters and global environmental activists targeting Canada as a place that's vulnerable to their sorts of advocacy and getting things canceled. If we want to truly capture the opportunities that are in front of us, we need to start by ensuring that Canadians are broadly understanding, educated, and supportive of our sector. We need to ensure that those who are elected to represent us are striving for a prosperous nation where we're developing our highest value assets, and that is largely resources, and getting the right policy, legislation, and regulation in place. A lot of the companies we work with are developing major projects, economic projects, and they don't know all the risks that are coming at them. They come to us to help articulate what those challenges are, how to mitigate those risks so that they can make the investments, so they can attract the capital that will make Canada a more prosperous place into the future. I think it's a fantastic time to invest in Alberta and to invest in resources. We have seen an underinvestment for over a decade in the largest commodity in the world, crude oil and natural gas. That underinvestment has somewhat been masked by the shale revolution in the US, which seems to have plateaued. Long life assets in the offshore globally have a decline rate that is increasingly catching up with us. And as the global demand continues to rise and countries like Russia and other nations that we no longer find palatable to do business with go off the market, Alberta becomes increasingly important. I think we have to get out of our own way. We have to find the path to getting major projects done, but it is a huge opportunity that we have to grasp with both hands and do the right thing to get these investments coming to Canada, to Alberta. I'm a passionate believer that advocacy is a crucial part of getting a project done in Canada, and something that we're still not doing a great job of. There's some great groups out there that are humanizing our industry. I would say oil and gas world being one of the prime movers that are leading this. But we need to be talking to Canadians about our values, about the type of work we do, about how it's connected to them and their lives and their livelihoods through events, through social media, through multiple channels. There's no silver bullet. It's not easy. Getting involved and speaking up are two of the key things that I think every Canadian needs to do more of, so that others aren't speaking on our behalf. Canada's a big place. The way energy issues land in Alberta and Saskatchewan are very different than in Ontario, Quebec, and even Atlantic Canada. I think that we have a huge opportunity, is the wrong word, because it's kind of scary and definitely sad that some of the policies that have been very problematic and damaging to Western Canada are going to increasingly be showing up on the power bills and energy costs for people in all of Canada. If anything, I think that will be a uniting force that puts Canadians all in the same boat, hopefully pulling the same direction, pushing our political leaders to be more pragmatic, more pro-Canada and pro-investment. We have all the resource in the world and companies that want to develop it. We just need to pull our politicians and elected leaders in the right direction to get us a framework that we can work with. For a company that's trying to develop a project or get investment that they want to invest in Canada, it's very complicated. There isn't a lot of expertise in the industry on what the risks are and what some of the potential risks that could be coming at them are. And it feels like globally, we've got two different worlds happening, that Europe is going back to coal in a fairly major way, as India and China have been for a long time. Canada is being a bit of a Boy Scout that's going in its own direction, which has been problematic for for some of the investments we've tried to make. I think for a company that's trying to navigate how is Canada different and how can we develop projects in Canada, it takes work. It takes expertise. I think it takes a view of the future which gets Canada back on a path to a pragmatic, pro-investment worldview. At Garrison Strategy, we're working with companies that are trying to get investment and move major projects forward. They're struggling to understand the current environment and where it's going. And I think that we're in a world where the political outcomes in the next federal and provincial elections are going to have huge implications on investments that are being made today. Some of the work we do is we map out what some of those scenarios look like and how companies can make investments today and be defending their assets to ensure that the return to their shareholders is paramount on anything that they're putting forward. 5 favorite things. I would say fishing at our family lake in northern Saskatchewan would be pretty close to the top. Hiking in the Rockies is high on that list. Skiing in winter is something that if you don't take advantage of winter when you live in a northern climate, you're nuts. You shouldn't live here. And we have just such great skiing. Time with family. I got 2 young girls who are getting older, and the first actually went to university a couple days ago. So we're down to 1 at home. We live in a great place. Just getting outside, walking the dog, and being part of our local community where we live makes life rich.